You're watching TVC Breakfast. Last week, demonstrations took place in at least 21 states against two bills at the National Assembly.
Different groups say the social media regulation and the anti-hate speech bill would only hinder freedom of expression. Protesters in Abuja marched with placards to the National Assembly against the bills, which have created a lot of conversation on and off social media.
The anti-hate speech bill went through two readings in just 2 weeks and prescribes life jail for some offences. Joining us in the studio is a public affairs analyst, Femi Lawson, and on Skype from Senegal is human rights activist Buki Shonibare. Good morning, Buki. Good morning, Femi Lawson.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, we'll start with you, Buki. Quickly, the wife of the president believes that if China, despite its population, can do something or control the social media, Nigeria can as well go in the same direction. I wonder what you make of her reaction to these two bills.
In everyone, I think that when we decide to copy laws from a particular country, we should also be ready to copy other systems that they have put in place to make such laws in their countries quite right and quite necessary. The China that the First Lady has actually quoted is a country that we know that have certain systems in place that makes it sometimes unnecessary for people to begin to raise issues regarding what the government is doing. While they have a long way to go, there are still things that they have not, that they have put in place, such that by the time they are getting feedback from the citizens, it is not such that borders on what will be termed as hate speech. Also, we know that China has very strong punitive measures against their public officials who have either embezzled public funds or gone against some of their laws. They have strong punitive measures like death by hanging for such officials. When you have such laws, and those laws have been followed by a particular government, it puts the people at rest and make them believe that this government can actually self-regulate. So if we want to copy laws from a particular country, then we should be ready to also copy their own systems. But let me say that if we look at Nigeria, we know that we have extant laws that have actually dealt with the provisions of both the hate speech bill and the social media regulation bill and the other bills that we are pushing at this time. We know that we have laws on the Cyber Crimes Act. Our criminal law actually prohibits libel and slander. And we have several other laws that have taken care of this thing. This law, the hate speech bill, is nothing but a draconian law, and it is subject to misrepresentation, and the interpretation can be stretched to favor certain political elites in our community.
Okay, let's move to Femi Lawson now. In all of this, we see that we always see a lot of things on social media. People say everybody's a journalist as far as you're on social media. So how do you think if the Senate is to curb hate speech, is it by a bill like this, or there should be some other ways to curb hate speech so that we don't have these kind of situations?
I think first and foremost, how that has become a priority even for the Nigerian Senate, particularly those sponsors at this time, I think it's one thing that we may have to debate later, because as it is today, such bills should not have been, the priority of these people who are proponents of this bill, especially when you consider the number of challenges that the country is currently facing. Then number two, if you look at the intentions, the body language, and even the positions of the sponsors of this bill, you understand that they have their targets, and the target is, are the internet users, because they have so much narrowed, the push for the social media regulation bill and the hate speech, anti-hate speech agency establishment bill. They have so much narrowed it and focused it on internet users, particularly the young
If
people.
that was on the internet to internet users, these internet users were, the internet was used primarily for the elections, during the campaign. So
even the president himself acknowledged the role of the social media, in his election in 2015, and I think, like Buki said, a lot of our laws, the cybercrime prohibition and prevention of 2014, the libel, all the laws that already take care of issues that, even there are a lot of criminal. I see the bottom line is you cannot through the back door now remove rights that have been constitutionally guaranteed, given to Nigerians, like this social media regulation bill, and the intentions of the proponents of this hate speech, anti-hate speech bill really shows. If you are going to do that, you must go through the constitution, and you cannot through a bill or through the back door come and extract the rights. The constitution has given.
Let's quickly ask this question before we let Buki Shonibare go. As a human rights activist, what is most concerning for you in these bills?
What's concerning for me is the human rights angle. The fact that this bill is going to definitely gag free speech. Section 39 of the Constitution already guarantees our right to freedom of speech. But most importantly, Section 1, subsection 3 of the Constitution has already laid on the fact that while the Constitution is the ground norm, it is important that every law must derive its legitimacy from the Constitution. So if the Constitution has guaranteed free speech, and you are coming with a bill that is going to negate that freedom, it is to that extent of the inconsistency.
But these are senators that should understand all of what you're saying.
One thing that we have seen, and is worrisome, that we are beginning to push for a democracy where the executive and the legislators want to get married. And that is because in true democracy, each arm of this government must actually be separate and distinct. If the legislators, when the Senate president was being inaugurated, he promised that there was going to be an independent legislative arm of government. But